Hey everybody, Chris from chrisrec.com, and here in this video we're going to talk about the biggest challenges and mistakes that I believe exist in affiliate marketing. So I've received a bunch of emails and comments and things like that here about, people asking me what are the biggest mistakes I've made or what I think the biggest challenges are right now. So I mixed the two together. Everything here is pretty much a mistake that I have made personally, or it's something that I think is a big challenge as well at the same time. But again, pretty much everything here, a major challenge or major mistake that I've made. Number one is excitement. Getting very excited about an idea and thinking it's going to take a certain amount of work. More specifically, I would say that you need to estimate for about 3 to 5 times more work than you think a campaign is going to take. I think if you set your expectations like that, then you will kind of be more realistic about the amount of work it takes to get a campaign to work. That's something that I've never seen anybody in a product do, is explain how the actual process of a campaign. A lot of them, yes, they kind of describe the layout, what I would call the layout of the campaign, which is how you put the campaign together, how you test it, and all this other stuff. But they don't tell you how many times you might have to do that, or they might not even tell you how many times you're going to have to redo a page or redo a lander or something like that. So again, like a lot of you, I'm sure, when I started learning this stuff many years ago, I would get really excited, and I still to this day get very excited about campaigns, or I get very excited about ideas I have. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being excited. Again, it's something that pushes me, is the enthusiasm and the excitement, and the excitement of being able to discover something new or discover how a campaign could work out differently. But I think making sure that you also have realistic expectations about how many times work it is going to take. So again, take whatever you think is how much work it's going to take, and then multiply that by 3 or 5, somewhere in there, and you'll probably have a better idea of how much work it's going to take. Next is excitement about one idea. Latching onto an idea and or thinking an idea is going to be the best. There are many times where I think an offer is going to be the best offer, and it's not. A lot of the times I'll put an offer in a rotation, for example, on a landing page. Let's just use skincare as an example. It's the example I always use. And let's say I'm testing a skincare offer. I might put in 5 offers, and frequently the offer that I think won't work or will pretty much perform the worst ends up performing the best. This is something that you'll hear from a lot of affiliates, a lot of the pages and things like that they think won't works the best. We could go on and on about this example. There are times where I have a headline that I think won't work, and it'll be the best, or I've had entire advertisements, entire pages, advertorials, mobile landers, everything that I thought would not work and have been absolutely downright hideous to look at, that have worked the best. So, don't get too excited about one idea. Again, I think at the beginning this cost me a lot of testing money as well, is, being too attached to one idea or being too attached to one offer and not focusing kind of more on the bigger picture. Next is turnover. I think, again, something that most people don't realize is how quickly pages can not last or how quickly these pages turn over. Basically, I'm constantly working on my pages, and it's something that is a competitive advantage for me. I think it could be a competitive advantage for a lot of you. This is hard work. I pretty much work all day, but at the same time, I get to sit here in my desk. I have another computer right over here I can do whatever I want on. I have another screen over here I can do whatever I want on. I have a TV, a fireplace, everything nice. I have a big window that looks outside here. So, I can still look at other things. I'm not only focused on work. It's much, much better than being in an actual office working a 9 to 5. But it is a lot of work, and that's something that I don't think a lot of affiliates talk about, is how quickly pages turn over, how much you need to be constantly working on them. The good news is once you get to a certain point, you can scale, of course. You can have people who you can train to take these pages and create different variations so there's less turnover, and there are ways around this. I have plenty of videos that will be coming out over the coming weeks and maybe even years, because I have a lot of ideas about how to prevent turnover and how to deal with turnover. So, just know over the next few weeks, I'm going to be releasing videos about turnover on pages, how you can decrease it, how you can create more landers and all sorts of stuff. Next is competition. Again, I don't consider competition to be a mistake. The only mistake I think there is getting lazy and not taking advantage of your competition. Let's face it, the affiliate space is very lazy. Look at how any of these products are promoted out there in the affiliate space. They're all promoted as being able to be lazy, being able to sit on the beach all day, do nothing, not having to work, and all of this other stuff. So your competition is lazy. For the most part, they're just going to be swiping your pages, hopefully, that you write on your own. What I do is I constantly update my pages. I'm constantly testing, constantly working on my images. The list goes on and on. So again, my competitive advantage for the most part is hard work, plus I write all my own pages. Again, for a lot of you that might not be practical, and you're going to have to come up with some other competitive advantage, but it's really not that hard. Even if you just take the course here that I have on this YouTube channel for free, no sign up, swipe improve profit, just search for it in the search bar. There's more than enough ideas in there to get you able to swipe a page and then turn it into something that could totally destroy your competition. So again, my competitive advantage is to not stop working. Yours might be being better at images, or testing more, whatever the list goes on and on there. Next is momentum, keeping momentum going. I can't tell you how many really great affiliates I have run into over the years that end up disappearing, that end up back at jobs, that end up working at Best Buy, for example. And it's because they don't keep the momentum going. They rest on their laurels. Again, they get lazy. They don't develop a competitive advantage, or they stop learning. I can't tell you how many people I know that have lost their Facebook account and they can't do anything else. That's why I preach copywriting, because I'm not that great of a writer. I was actually terrible at writing in school, but I've developed copywriting to the point where it doesn't matter like how my writing is, how my grammar is, but I have the basics down really, really solid. And so that allows me to keep the momentum going, and it allows me to take any ad, basically. I can put it on any advertising platform and it will work, because it's going to be better than pretty much anything else that's out there. So needing to keep the momentum going, but especially with your education, education is invaluable, I think, in this market, and learning as much as you can from as many people as you can is going to be very important for you. I always tell people, one of the things that, I don't like when I see people hating on courses and things like that. Even though I don't personally charge for the courses that are here on this YouTube channel, and again, I don't really plan on ever creating a course per se. I plan on creating higher level things, but and I'll always just give this basic stuff away. But at the same time, as I've heavily invested in courses, heavily invested in training and things like that, and I think that education is also part of the momentum thing. Going to events is where you can learn about the next new thing. Going to events is where you could have learned about native advertising before it became as popular as it is right now. Going to events is where you can find new traffic sources that nobody knows about yet. And that is what's going to keep the momentum going and keep you moving forward. Next is time. Again, I think that there's this big myth in affiliate marketing that you can get lazy, and it's just not true. I think once you build up to a certain point, then there's no doubt you can get lazy. Like, if I miss a day of work, it's not going to affect my earnings, at all. If anything, if I miss a day at work at this point, I'm kind of at diminishing returns. You can probably hear it in my voice. I've been a little bit sick lately, and it's probably because I'm working too much. I could probably afford to take a few days off, heal up, and I'll probably come back stronger. But you have to get to that point first. I think that's kind of a key thing about affiliate marketing, is that you really have to get to that point. And there are a couple of things that I've talked about on the channel that I'm going to talk about again. One is money. You need money in affiliate marketing. This myth, lie, whatever you want to call it, about being able to affiliate market with no money is just that. It's a myth. It's a lie. It's not true. Can you do it? Yes, kind of, but it's not going to last. Again, and that's why I say it's a myth or a lie. Because yes, you can make money. I've made money for free, of course, with affiliate offers and things like that, but it doesn't last. It's not a sustainable business. You need money to do this successfully, plain and simple. Anybody that tells you don't, they're just lying or trying to make money. It's just that simple. The best competitive advantage you can probably have in affiliate marketing is money. I say it all the time. There are people who operate at such a high level, they can afford to have like a 10% profit margin, and they're still making millions of dollars a year. So, you need to, you want to get to that level, or you want to get to a very high level where you can spend a lot of money. Money buys everything in this industry. It buys you access to the best networks, to the best offers, to the best traffic sources. It gets you discounts on traffic sources. It gets you just, so much. It's just unbelievable. The more you can spend, basically, the more you can make. And especially with, I think the things like You know, I've talked about this before in native advertising. It is my strong belief, I have a strong suspicion that if the more money you have in your account, the better traffic you're going to get. Again, I can't prove this, of course, so this is just a rumor, let's say. But you know, from what I understand, if you are spending the most money, obviously, you are going to be given better traffic, or at least you're going to see probably better traffic in a network. Part of this has to do with, you know, it's not even the networks that are controlling this. It's just the fact that they have to funnel traffic, right? You know, let's think about Facebook, for example. Facebook's a terrible example because they use a totally different advertising algorithm than maybe Rev Content, for example. But let's just pretend that they use the same thing. You know, they're going to give you a mixture of traffic. Some good, some bad, some that has, you know, maybe a super targeted, some that's not so targeted. Their algorithm is trying to figure out what your offer converts on. So that's what you're going to get at first. And if you're not spending enough money, if you're not spending a lot of money, who knows what percentage of what you are getting. If you can spend a lot of money, then you're going to get a good mixture of all the traffic up front. Then when you start converting, if you're using like a traffic sources pixel, then you're going to get the better traffic, you know, even more so. So, you know, again, not having money is definitely a hindrance in affiliate marketing. It doesn't make things impossible, but it's definitely difficult. And again, as somebody who started with basically nothing, I can tell you that, you know, you can get there. I did. But, you know, I definitely think there are advantages to making as much as you can. That's why I tell people, you know, get a job or sell something or make a big chunk of change if you're going to commit to this business. And then finally, of course, here's a little funny one, is explaining what you do. Trying to explain to your family members what you do for a living is impossible. Nobody understands it. Nobody gets it. So that's always that. But those are the biggest challenges, I would say. To me, for me, again, personally, I would say excitement, enthusiasm was probably my biggest challenge. I get really excited about campaigns, and then when something wouldn't work, it would really let me down. And, you know, I really feel that on a deep level. So it took me a long time to kind of get over that and to try to get out of my head. I think that's also important, staying out of your head and not kind of attaching yourself too much. You almost have to lose feelings. You almost have to lose your emotions in this business so that you can kind of get ahead in a lot of ways. I would say the second mistake is not having money. Again, you know, I think anybody that says you can do this without a lot of money is just trying to get your money, or is trying to do something or is just not completely honest. Because, again, the competitive advantage that money can give you in this game is just off the charts. The more money you have for this business, the better. And then I would say number 3, making sure that you commit to the business. This is not something, you know, I think people look at this the wrong way. They look at affiliate marketing as if they're going to join it, they're going to get in, they're going to launch a few campaigns, make their millions, and then retire. You know, this is a business, and you need to look at it that way, and also you need to realize that you're probably not going to get rich overnight. Could it happen? Sure. I mean, if there's any business that it could happen in, it probably is affiliate marketing. But is it going to happen? Probably not. You know, it's probably going to take a long time for you to get there, but you could still make a very healthy living on the way. But like I said, you definitely need to look at it as a business. You need to run it as a business, and you need to think about it in a very structured way, and that will probably lead you to the most success. So thank you for watching, and as always, questions in the description down below.